So the B part of question 4 required that the candidates explain 4 actions that an employer might be ordered to take by an industrial tribunal for unfair dismissal of an employee. So question 4B, the candidate was expected to explain 4 actions that an employer might be ordered to take by an industrial tribunal for unfair dismissal of an employee. The question had 4 marks. So this question required the candidate to explain 4 actions that an employer might be ordered to take by an industrial tribunal for unfair dismissal of an employee. So before we respond to the question, it's important to understand that sometimes industrial tribunals may be set up based on the relevant Act of Parliament or relevant legislation as they are appointed, so that they can look into matters which include dismissal of employees. So in a case where the dismissal of an employee is considered to be unfair and an industrial tribunal has to give an order, there are several orders which could be given, which may include the first one, reinstatement of an employee who has been unfairly dismissed. The tribunal could require that an employer reinstates an employee who has been unfairly dismissed, and this reinstatement will be done at the terms and conditions that would be specified by the tribunal, by the industrial tribunal. So this is one of the aspects that could happen. This is one of the order that would be given. This employee should be reinstated, and the terms and conditions that would be specified by the industrial tribunal are the terms that will be followed by the employer. And in this case, each case of dismissal, unfair dismissal, is handled on its own merit, which are considered by the industrial tribunal before that order is given. Secondly, the industrial court could provide an order for the re-engagement of the worker. The industrial tribunal may listen to the side of the employee, may also listen to the side of the employer, and may come to may give an order that the employee should be re-engaged within that particular organization. So that then means if the employer, for example, had ceased operations in a particular plant, then the employer could be told, re-engage this particular employee in your plant that is still operational at a particular location, at a particular venue, or particular activities. Hence, again, terms would be specified by the tribunal, industrial tribunal. So again, re-engagement can be one of the orders that could be given. Thirdly, The industrial tribunal could order a compensation. Now, depending on the circumstances under which the unfair dismissal of an employee has occurred, then the industrial tribunal could look at the facts. Facts could be assessed, and a compensation ordered, which could be quantified by the industrial tribunal. And an order given to the employer to compensate that employee so that the loss could be mitigated in relation to the loss of employment that the employee has suffered in relation to this particular unfair dismissal case. Fourthly, the industrial tribunal could order for a termination of employment. Specifically, where it is not practicable to provide, to give another order. What this implies is that an organization could have unfairly dismissed the services of an employee or dismissed an employee unfairly. But then the employer has ceased operations in relation to the activities in which this kind of an employee could be ordered to be re-engaged or be reinstated. In this instance, then what the industrial tribunal will do, it will order for a termination of employment, but provide the terms and conditions under which the termination will be done, and this could be a combination of the other orders that have been given, where the employee could be compensated or the employee could be given other benefits that would make the employee reduce on the losses that they are likely to suffer. So these are four actions that an employer might be ordered to take by an industrial tribunal for unfair dismissal of an employee. And we have talked about reinstatement in relation to the terms and conditions that are specified by the tribunal. We have talked about a re-engagement where the worker could be re-engaged within the activities or the plant of the employer. We have mentioned here the compensation of that employee who is dismissed, and also termination of the employment in cases where it is not practicable to give another order. And we have given an example, for instance, where an employer unfairly dismissed an employee but cannot reinstate that worker because operations have ceased, where the employer could reinstate that particular employee who is unfairly dismissed. So those could be orders that could be provided or given by an industrial tribunal in the case of unfair dismissal as a sample benchmark on which the candidate could build up and respond to that particular question.